Hey guys, it's Felly, and I wanted to do another art talk. For today's topic, I want to go over, I guess in a nutshell, the toxic nature that comes with being a part of the art community. Especially when it comes to constructive criticism or validating people's styles and what they explain and do in tutorials. And I guess mostly tutorials, because I've noticed since being on both sides of the fence as an artist and as someone that has accounts that feature and repost tutorials and tips, how people respond to seeing artists declare either do this or don't do this, or this is the rules as to what they feel for how to approach something. And I noticed this invokes a lot of negative response. Like, I've seen things on topics that they're not real, so there is no concrete guidelines. Like, we have a post about angel wings. The artist is saying, angel wings are basically bird wings, and this is how it relates to the human body. This is what he felt people were doing wrong. And in turn, he said, this is how you should be doing it. Everyone's livid in the comments. And that's like, granted, you're welcome to your opinion. You're welcome to state what you feel. That's just the beauty of the internet. You can hide behind a keyboard and say whatever, whether it's inflammatory, positive, negative, in between. That's a given. But I notice a lot of people like to refer to the same baseline excuses. Either, well, that's my style choice, or I don't have to do that. You're not the boss of me. I draw it the way I want to draw it. And I notice for artists that are hoping to eventually transition into the industry or to a professional setting, that's kind of not the mentality to have from it. It's just like, you can't go into any of those meetings, whether you're freelancing or trying to work at a studio, and be in the mindset of telling somebody off. There are certain rules to things, or as one of my mentors taught me, you have to learn the rules before you break them. So before you go and destroy the guidelines of what's set, some things, yes, they are based in logic, and some people have art styles that are not realism, but they're still based in reality or some form of logic before they just make a hard right and go down the complete realm of imagination. But the thing is, you don't have to follow that. There's plenty of artists that break away from this. They do their own thing or create their own lane. That's fine. But when you're in a situation of being told something, you're putting your work out there for the world to see it. Unfortunately, you're going to get naysayers, people that pick it apart, try to destroy it, or simply just want to give you constructive feedback. That's why, as an artist, one of the things you need to learn is how to have thick skin to be able to take a critique, whether it be malicious or actually insightful, and be able to process that and not lash out. I see too many times that someone will respond and then someone will counter respond to them, and it just, they can't handle it. They're infuriated now. They feel personally attacked, or they straight up was attacked, and now they just got to take shots back and forth. Now, if someone points out something in your work, there's only one or two ways you can take it. You can examine what they said, see if there's any truth in it, or you can just get offended. But really, that's a waste of time. If someone's saying, you know what, those wings technically don't work because they don't match the size of the human, so they technically can't carry the human, that's fine. But and then you can choose to respond. Like, I have gotten into debates and I said, well, what if the artist is trying to make a character that has wings, but they're not meant for flight? See, things like, you can turn that and start a debate, start a conversation. You can probably gain something from it. Okay, maybe someone is commenting because they have studied birds. They have a adverse knowledge of them, and they are imparting that on you because they know. And because of that, that's why they said this technically wouldn't work. Or you could take the cheap route and say, well, It's a make believe. This is fiction. It doesn't have to work. That's what it is. It's like that seems combative. It seems you're on the defense. It's not wrong, but that's just the way it may come off and appear. And it's all about perception. So I've been in plenty of scenarios. I'll tell you a story. When I was younger, I went to Comic-Con. I went on my own, and I think I was still in high school at the time. I took submission pages there to be looked at by several comic companies. I believe I waited in line for only Dark Horse, though, because Dark Horse had the shortest line, which was about 3 hours. The rules of the line was they told us all while we was sitting there waiting, we're going to call you up one by one as you're sitting, and we are going to review your pages. The review process will take 2 minutes, and after we look over it, we will tell you one of two things, because we're trying to speed up the process. Either we will tell you, we will sit down with you tomorrow and go over detail on possibly hiring you, or we will tell you go down to the artist alley where a bunch of artists are situated at downstairs to try to sell and promote their personal work, and you can ask them for tips on how to improve. Now, I went there, I was young-minded, I didn't think I had a chance, but I thought, I can get some good feedback. I did 9 submission pages, were like 3 each of 3 different topics. And I sat in line, I saw the other people and I saw their work. I saw a kid, I was a teenager, and I seen a kid that was like probably 11 or 12. And his work smoked me out of the water. But he was giving me tips, which felt weird because, having someone that young tell me what to do, but they were valuable. So I waited. It took me 2 hours to get up to the front. And I was like, okay, this 2 minutes is probably going to feel like forever. This man took my work. He looked through all 9 pages. And I kid you not, in not even the course of 15 seconds, he told me to go down to the artist alley. Now, instinctually, because I was hot-headed back then, I wanted to go off and say, well, how are you going to send me down and not even tell me anything? It's 2 minutes. You owe me 2 minutes of explanation. There was so many ways I wanted to blow up in that scenario, but I knew, one, I didn't want to ruin any chances I've had working with this company or any other company because I didn't know how good the rumor mill was back then. And 2, I knew that wasn't going to get me anywhere. Blowing up was not going to help. So I took that, I swallowed it, I went downstairs. I didn't talk to no one for a while. I waited. It took me like 20 minutes and I went and I talked to artists and they explained things, pointed things out, showed me how my work looked rushed, how the backgrounds were lacking. It was a very well planned out learning experience where I guess I'm thankful that they did say that, where they did give you alternative, but we're not going to talk to you. We're at least going to send you somewhere where you can hopefully get some feedback. And I was able to obtain that. All because I was able to bite my tongue long enough to get some constructive criticism. So my advice would be to any artists out there, there's going to be people that are going to just take shots. If you can see if there's any truth in there, because I always say, take what you need, leave the rest. If there's anything in there that you honestly have to admit that is true. Oh, they called me out because I don't draw backgrounds. Yeah, that's a little true. I'm going to have to work on that. They said all my animals look like beat up garbage. Oh, okay, I'm not going to lie. I need references. I need help. Okay, maybe that is something I should work on. If you sit and take time to respond to every person that is taking a shot at your work or your views or your ideas or even saying your style is crap because none of that's realistic. None of that can actually be that way. It wouldn't work, this, that. You're going to be wasting your whole time doing that. You might as well that'd be like a full-time job. There's no point in feeding into that. There people that's going to come and just to take you off your course, slow you down, and stop you from progressing. Don't even give them that time of day. Sometimes on the pages I'll respond. That's just because I'm up for a debate. If you feel something's wrong, explain to me. Maybe you can change my mind and educate me on something I didn't know about. But other than that, you're not going to stop me, so I'm okay having that talk. You feel this is wrong, this is not going to work, why is that? Because here's why I think that would work. If you have a better idea, shoot, I'm all for it. That may make things better for me in the end. It's just I'm going to take that chance And if it can help in any way, even by the slightest, I got time. I got time for that. But other than that, just be wary of how you respond to someone else's feedback of what you're doing, what you're working on. Whether it be a sketch, if you got a whip and people are you're posting it up. So you posting it is essentially like you saying, I am open to feedback. Unless you disable the comments, and that's a completely different thing. But that's my thoughts on constructive feedback. I think we can all agree things are pretty toxic in the art community when it comes to certain things, certain genres, certain styles, and stuff like that. We've all seen someone that has responded in a less than favorable way. Let's not be that guy. Let's not be the artist that made a remark that killed another artist's day. But that's my thoughts on it. If you want to see more, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and if you want to check out my personal work, you can find me on Art by Felly on Instagram. And if you want to see the tutorial pages, we are art.tips.tutorials. Until the next one, take care.